Well, I've anchored a few thousand newscasts during my broadcast career, but the newscasts I anchored on the weekend in May of 2020 is a moment in time I'll never forget. I was called upon to anchor the national CBS Evening News, broadcasting from right here in the Coin Studios to millions across the country. It's part of my journey I want to share with you in tonight's Jeff's Journal.
This is the CBS Weekend News.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Gianola reporting from KOIN TV in Portland, Oregon. One day after President Trump declared America. In May of 2020, I went from local news anchor to national anchorman. I was called upon to anchor the CBS Weekend Evening News after COVID had shut down their studios in New York. President Trump is spending the weekend at Camp David, but even if he's not in the Capitol, there's new controversy. CBS's Nicole Killian is at the White House. As I was sitting here getting ready for the CBS Evening News, I was starting to get nervous, not from what they were telling me in New York in my earpiece, listening to the producers and the directors. It was the bosses and executives who had gathered here behind the scenes in the studio. I started to sweat a little, like the Albert Brooks character, the anchorman in broadcast news.
Just how noticeable is this? Huh?
Was a swift and unusual public criticism of the alliance.
Are you hearing me?
Do you have a big one?
Oh, good, Susie. Hurry. 10 seconds.
Will severely limit NATO's ability.
5 seconds.
Decline.
I managed to keep my cool, fortunately, anchoring the CBS News that Saturday and again Sunday. CBS News producers asked if there was a local story that national viewers might like. The Sunday broadcast included a report on the 40th anniversary of the eruption of Mount St. Helens. 40 years ago tomorrow, Mount St. Helens erupted, changing the landscape in the Northwest forever. It was a display of force few had ever seen. Decades later, the effects of that eruption are once again putting people in harm's way. Before the 1980 eruption, Washington's Spirit Lake was known as a classic summer destination. And after signing off Sunday's broadcast, my 30 minutes of fame was over. But my memories of that weekend will last a lifetime. After the CBS National News aired that Saturday, I called my mom down in California. She was 95 at the time, and I said, "Mom, what did you think?" She said, "Your tie was a little crooked." That's the CBS Weekend News for this Sunday. 60 Minutes coming up next. I'm Jeff Gianola, reporting from KOIN Television in Portland, Oregon. Good night. I'll never forget that weekend. By the way, my mom is about to turn 101. The best thing about anchoring the national broadcast that night, all the old friends that reached out to me from across the country when I popped on their television sets. And a big thank you to our own morning anchor, Travis Tyke, who was a producer back then and was in constant communication with CBS News in New York and helping me here in the studio. Now, don't miss my journal on Monday. 10 years ago, when Stephen Colbert was announced as the new host of The Late Show, I sat down for a one-on-one interview with Stephen. What he said back then about humor and Donald Trump, who hadn't been elected to his first term yet, is eye-opening. As we now look back in time, no one could have predicted then the politics and broadcast realities of today, leading to CBS now canceling The Late Show 10 years after Colbert first started hosting. Proof that truth is stranger than fiction. My Stephen Colbert interview Monday on Jeff's Journal, and I'll have all the behind-the-scenes story to tell you about that. And, you know, the number one question Liz and Josh can tell you, people say, do you ever really get that nervous?
Yeah.
You know, and I have to say, you know guys know this. I'm probably one of the coolest as a cucumber anchors there is. I never lose my cool out there.
Let's fan you down here.
And no matter what's happening out here on the set,
put you in your shirt here.
I never lose my cool.
Yeah.
And I'm always ready to go. Hey, thanks for bringing me this right here.
There you go. I think we need a bigger fan.
Listen, I'm going to go change during the commercial break.
Yeah, you do that. He doesn't get nervous. He really doesn't. This is an unusual circumstance, you guys.
CBS Evening News will do that.
Yeah.
Getting hot out there.